Welcome to the FilmFestival Cottbus 2020, and hello to Marian Crisan, the director of the campaign. Thank you very much for your time, and your film was it was quite thought-provoking, but at the same time I found it highly comical. Yeah, so that's rare in these days, I find. One of my favorite scenes was where the politician Mukanu, he gets heavily drunk with the farmer, and I was like, from what I know, it's very difficult to act drunk, and I find both of them very convincing, the way they are acting drunk. So how did you shoot the scene? How did the actors, were they drunk, or are they just fantastic actors?
Yeah, that is a difficult scene, as you said, and for actors it's difficult to play drunk at 10 o'clock in the morning without alcohol. Of course, but they are good actors, both of them. Jon Sabdaro and Crisan, they are really experienced actors, and I was also surprised to see how good they did it. They didn't drink because it was too early. we drank during the shooting in the evening some palinka, but no, that was done without alcohol. But Ovidiu is it's incredible how he can enter a state and keep it for hours if you want, because he created this character of the tractor tractor driver, and during the month that we shot, he stayed in that role all the time. He was even keeping the clothes on like the tractor driver did, because in the real life Ovidiu is not like that. Ovidiu is really neat and clean and sporty, but he kept the character, and doing that was part of the character, because from the first scene they are on around the table. They serve this strong drink that is specific in West Romania and Hungary, the palinka, that is really strong drink. It's a strong spirit, and from the first scene they start to clink the glasses, and it's this is one of the theme of the leitmotif of the film, that they all the time drink a bit of this strong drink. This is the kind of liquor, this essence of annihilating the politician.
Right.
Somehow the politician gets into this world. This is slow and really different time. The time of this little town, and the drink is part of this. So it was natural to have a drunken scene.
Yeah, and there's also in the same scene, he also confesses his love, kind of his admiration for the lifestyle, right? And it's so touching, I find, because I have the feeling that he really means that, right? And so you know, that it's like, I don't know, it's like the maybe it's the most truthful thing he said in the whole film, right?
Yeah, it's a saying in Romania that drunk people say the truth.
Yeah.
Probably everywhere in the world. So you can believe that is the only moment that he is sincere, so to say. Somehow he faces somehow the reality. He says, I'm a coward, I'm a fool, and he is. But during all the film, he doesn't say that. But in that specific moment, he has the courage to say it, and like man to man, after a bottle of palinka. But yeah, the next morning everything is back on back on track.
Yeah. And what was it for you personally that interested you in the story and in this setting, in the small Romanian village, and this meeting of these two very different characters?
Yeah, it's the story that I like. I did this in other films that I did before, and especially in my first film that was Morgan. This meeting of two men from different worlds is all the time intriguing. But from these meetings of strangers on screen, you can get humanity, and you can get stories, I think. But one of the person that I rewrite all the time is this average guy, like 40 years old, 40 to 50 years old guy that lives in this town that is my hometown, Salonta. This is the stereotype that I like to write. Is a guy that it's anonymous and doesn't have a is not a hero. He's just a John Doe, but is a kind of my neighbor because I lived there for 20 years till I went to school. And when I started writing, I want to write about those people, about people in specifically in that town, my town, in Salonta, because I write really easily about them. My heart is with them, so I easily can do the psychology of a guy like that, because I know them. I know how they act. I know how they react, and I know their rhythm, and this is how I wrote Morgan, and also Berliner is about this guy living in my hometown that meets a stranger, and that becomes the backbone of a film. And I just improvise and go and write more, and it becomes a script. So this is the thing.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, that there is also something to admire about this simple life, right? And this everyday people.
Yeah, of course. When you live in a city, in a big city, and you look back where you are from, or you look at the little people in small towns or in villages, you somehow admire them, because they live a simple life. They are still working the land. They still have a garden. Things that are we are just talking about organic, and we are going to the supermarket and going to the bio part of the but they have the bio garden near their home, and their life is really simple, and their rhythm is really clear, what they do, what their expectations. So somehow I'm contemplating also about what life should be for us. I mean, should we run after buying new cars and new clothes, or should we just live without any wealth? And
and then I find it interesting when you observe this figure, this character of the politician during the film. He also, like, I think, starts to question maybe his own values, but at the same time he can't stop manipulating the people, like as if it's like a subconscious drive inside him that even though he falls in love with those people, he can't stop like pulling the strings wherever he can. And would you say that would you say that this is a behavior that sums up the way that politicians behave, and or Romanian politicians, or maybe politicians in general, behave that way?
Yeah, he's a like they say, political animal. He cannot help himself. He's a shark. I mean, he plays with it, but in deep inside, he's still a politician. He's still a professional politician. So this is what I liked about this script and this setup was the exact thing that you said, that you sometimes think that this politician will make it right, or will say, okay, I gave up, I will not run anymore, because I realized how bad person, what a bad person I am. But he's not, because he has to go on. He has to go on because it's his life, and his life is like that. And also the last scene is about that. Is you have to keep dancing. You have to keep. The show must go on. It's a show. All these elections, and everybody knows everywhere that this is a show. In the United States or in Romania, this is just a show. The cards are not made in the election, but before. But we don't know. We just play the game. We go and elect, but there are underneath, there are a lot of secrets and a lot of things that won the elections beside our vote. Mm-hmm. So this is intriguing, and I had a version, and I had some scenes that this is a thing that you will never see. This, I also shot 3 or 4 scenes additionally that were kind of a different ending, that the politician was more human. But in the end, I said it's not okay because it's not believable. Mm-hmm. This politician, will not go make it right. Maybe in my head, or ideally, he would have said, okay, let's face it, I'm a bad person. But in this film, he shouldn't. So I put out those scenes, and I believe this version that you saw and the public watches is the strongest, because also of that, because he doesn't change. Maybe he has small revelations that the things could have been different, but he's also too old and too tired to change. He's an old politician that is nearly the end of his profession, and so he cannot risk in changing. He will die like that, and saying that, I was right. And I help people, because at some moment in every profession you get you push the limit, and then you cannot go back.
And the film is driven by these fantastic dialogues. So how do you write scenes like this? Because you wrote it together with a co-writer, with Gabriel Andronache. Right. So how did you go about writing together on such a dialogue-driven script?
Actually, it was funny because I'm most of the time I write alone, but with this script we began from a small chapter in a book by Gabriel Andronache that was dealing with elections in a small village. But the novel was a different plot. It was not about that. It was about other characters. And he said, let's write an adaptation of this novel. But I said, no, I don't really get it. But I like this chapter with the election in a small village, and I would like to make something like that. And the fact was that he said, okay, let's try it. He is living in East Romania. I'm living in West Romania. Salonta, so to say, in this town. So I have this feeling of the West. He has the feeling of the East, and the politician comes from the East. It's hard for a foreigner to understand the dialect, but in Romania, when you see this film, it's also about that. A guy from the East meets a guy from the West. It's like Germany and like France, when you meet North with South or East with West, and they're different egos and believing that we are smarter than you are, or we are cleverer than you are, or we are much more spiritual. But in the end, it was we said let's make a game that you will write the character from the East, the politician, and I write the character from the West, dialogue. And we somehow had a dialogue ourselves, because it's a thing that they talk differently somehow, and they have a different rhythm. And we wrote half of the dialogue. Before that, I wrote a kind of an outline of the script, that we agreed that we have to go from this point to this point. And then we started writing together. Mainly the dialogue was written like that. East guy and a West guy. And we say, okay, this sounds funny. Let's go further. Yeah.
And did you send each other mails, or were you sitting together?
Yeah, every day.
Okay. So he was writing a line to you, you were writing a line to him, and then back and forth.
Yeah. It was a ping pong of all the time was playing with it, improvising. Or I would write an entire scene, and I said, go and pick the dialogues from this scene and adapt them like you want. And then he wrote another scene that I took and I touched it, because it was a kind of a game, and finding the lines and because dialogue is like poetry sometimes. It's a kind of rhyming. I mean, you need to have this and when you are two people, it's even funnier, because it's like a dialogue in itself. So that was about the dialogue.
And in the film, you said that this is your hometown. Did you involve the locals in the shooting as actors, or how did you involve the people there? Because a lot of people in this film, they seem so authentic, like they live there or something.
Yeah, of course you do that when you shoot a film like that with a low budget, and it's really specific that you should do that. And of course we did that, and we had hundreds of extras actually, and special extras. Also we had some secondary parts. It was a small interruption. So we cast people in the town, and we did this before also in Horizon and in my previous films. I like to work with amateurs, and also there are a lot of actors. Most of the actors, secondary parts, are actors from a theater in Oradea. That's a small city in the west, and they are not really known actors in Romania, so they are really anonymous. And I can play with that, because they come on screens and nobody knows them. Who are these people? They are actors actually, but we play with it. We like to play and say, you'll be I don't know, riding a bike or something and telling something, or you will be in the barber shop. So also we put people from the city, from the town. So yeah, of course it's the style of the film is really observational and documentary kind of look, and you need to go forward and do that also with the characters, to be realistic and to be true.
And now in these times, what are you doing? Are you working on a new? Are you writing? Are you working on a new film, or how do you spend these lockdown times?
Yeah, I'm working on the next film, on the next project, and I'm rewriting the script, and also we are financing the new film, and we hope that next summer or autumn to be ready to shoot it. So it will be totally different because it's the first time that I will try to make a period film. It's a film that takes place in 1944, last year of World War II. It will not be a war film. It will not be with people killing each other, but it will happen in those days.
All right. So then I wish you a very good luck with that and hope that you will be able to shoot it soon.
Thank you very much, and thank you for this, and good luck with the festival.